Hey all, it's Lauren. I know I don't normally do game videos, but some friends and I were curious about a change made on the week 1 of the new Lost Depths PTS, for specifically pertaining to Stamina Sorcerer. So I've got Major Brutality up right now. And if we look at Crystal Weapon, I've got a tooltip for 7.1k. Alright? Now, this hits for almost twice as much on live right now. The nerf wasn't quite 50%, but it may as well have been. So, the tooltip is 7.1k on Crystal Weapon. And on Crushing Weapon, it's 11.3k, plus it does Major Fracture. So, essentially, if you're running Crystal Weapon right now, if they don't undo this change, before Lost Steps goes to live, Crystal Weapon is going to be completely useless. There's also, where is it at? Bound Armaments, which has been pretty significantly nerfed. I imagine that some people will probably still run this, but I would not recommend it myself because damage over time effects lasting so long has essentially made them fucking worthless. So I've got a buffed 16.7k dot on Rending Slashes, which I've actually got the Master's Swords on right now. So this is not going to be worth it because 20 seconds is really just garbage for a dot. This would have to be doing a pretty significant amount of damage to be worth doing. I realize that there's Deadly Strike, but right now Order of Wrath is way too strong, especially or it's not too strong, but if you combine Order of Wrath, which might be a craftable set. Red Eagles. I promise that I know the alphabet. Apparently not though, because I couldn't recognize that as being Q. Oblivion's Foe. Order's Wrath. Right, so have knowledge. If we go over here, this increases your crit damage and healing by 8%, and it gives you a ton of critical, and it gives a line of weapon and spell damage. So I'll probably be running that. Red Mountain still does a lot of damage. It's actually going to be stronger than Kalurian's Legacy. Which I don't remember it having a 14k tooltip on live, but I'm sure that's just me not paying attention. Jesus. Rolling Blades hasn't been touched. Still really good. I think on Stam Sorc in particular, probably still gonna need Whirling Blades. Especially given the AoE part of the class. So if we put on Barbed Trap over Rapid Strikes, which I was testing out, and Rapid Strikes does more damage than Crystal Weapon as well, because the crit rate makes it crit more on average because rapid strikes, it hits 4 times, and each time has a chance to crit. But if we look at Camo Hunter with Crystal Weapon or Crushing Weapon, 11.4, 10.9, 13.3k. So roughly 13.3k crit. Now, if I go over to Crystal Weapon, and do the same thing, 7.8k crit. $7.4. Pretty standard. If I add the crit damage buff, I can probably get it to go a little bit higher. 8.5-ish, basically. However, if I go back over here, let's see, where was that? If I go back over to Psijic, put this on, we have Race Against Time, which lasts for 20 seconds. I don't think it lasts that long on live. So do that. 12.3k crit right off the bat, 11.4k normal. 15k crit, and that was, I don't have my buff tracker on right now, but that's presumptively with the shock enchantment up. And real quick before I stop recording, I've got 1-piece Baylorg, 5-piece Purple Heartlands Conqueror, 5-piece on the back bar Ring of Shadow of the Red Mountain. Front bar is 2 Master's Swords, which again, like, is completely useless because this is just my life build. And then Malakaths because it makes Red Mountain do a lot more damage. Which I'm not even sure if Malakath will be totally worth using next patch. Or if it is, you might want to run it on... If you run Red Mountain next patch, you might want to just run it on your front bar and have Master's dual wield or Master's bow on your back bar. So right now I have Haunting Curse, but I imagine that the Master's bow would basically make this useless. So let's actually try that real quick. Okay, buffing up with Race Against Time, Crit Surge, Crushing Weapon, 12.3. 10.9, 14, 12.9, 14.9. $13.3. Also, this is dark deal. I can't remember. They changed Dark Deal a bit. It's got a little bit less healing right now, but I'm not sure that too many of us use Dark Deal for the healing. Aster's Bow, 14.9k crit right off the bat. 15.1. Okay, so the gist of what I have found is basically that on stam sword crushing weapon is going to be the way to go next patch. This is obviously just my opinion. Some people might mention that Major Breach can only stack once, but you can't always expect teammates or other players in general to have the Major Breach, so it's still, in my opinion, the best way to go. But Rapid Strikes is also really good. And I'm thinking that something you might be able to do it's the only thing that we'll have to get used to is not being able to do a heavy attack with Crushing Weapon. But if we look at like basic light attacks, they're basically hitting at around 2.3, 2.5k. I do have a shock enchant, so that'll push it up to like 2.8. But that's definitely consistent with the flat damage amount. So heavy attacks are probably not going to be worth it anyways. You'll just be doing light attacks for the ulti gen. So, I mean, actually, if we go back here, it's probably safe to assume that Red Mountain is just going to nuke people. Oh, come on, dude. Yeah, that's a pretty significant burst combo. And I'll go ahead and put Camo Hunter back on. Oh my god. So I realize that players will have way more mitigation, but that's still just a pretty crazy change. So yeah, see ya.